You keep waiting for something to change, but what if it already has and you just have not noticed yet? What if the shift you've been hoping for is not coming in the future, but is already here, moving quietly through your life in ways you have not fully recognized? There is a strange feeling in the air right now, something you cannot quite name but also cannot ignore. It sits at the edge of your awareness, like a word on the tip of your tongue or a memory trying to surface. You feel it when you wake up, when you pause between tasks, when you lie down at night and the noise finally stops. Something is different. Something has moved. And even though nothing around you looks dramatically changed, you know in your bones that this moment is not like the ones before it. What you are sensing is real, and it is not just in your head. Right now, beneath the surface of ordinary life, a rare alignment of cosmic forces is unfolding, and whether you believe in astrology or not, the energy it creates is undeniable. You do not need to understand the mechanics to feel the effects. You have already been feeling them. The restlessness, the clarity that comes and goes, the sudden urge to revisit old ideas or make decisions you have been avoiding. These are not random. They are signals, and they are intensifying with each passing day. The sun has just entered Aries, marking the beginning of an entirely new astrological cycle. This is not symbolic. It is the point where everything starts over, where the zodiac resets to zero and a fresh wave of energy begins to move through every area of life. At the exact same time, the Earth reaches the vernal equinox, that rare moment when day and night are perfectly balanced, when light and darkness hold equal weight before the scales tip toward growth and expansion. This balance creates a doorway, a threshold between what was and what is about to be, and you are standing directly inside it. But that is only part of what is happening. For the past few weeks, Mercury has been retrograde, pulling your thoughts in circles, disrupting communication, stalling plans, and making clarity feel just out of reach. You may have felt like you were moving backward, like no matter how hard you tried, progress was impossible. Conversations did not land the way you intended. Decisions felt heavy and unclear. You questioned yourself more than usual, wondering if you were on the right path or simply repeating old patterns. That confusion was not random. It was necessary. Mercury retrograde does not block you. It redirects you. It forces you inward so you can see what needs to be seen, so you can refine what needs to be refined before you move forward again. And now, just as the sun ignites a new cycle and the equinox balances the energies Mercury has stationed direct, the fog is beginning to lift. The mental noise is clearing. The thoughts that were tangled are starting to straighten. And this shift is not happening in isolation. It is happening at the exact moment when the universe is opening a door, when momentum is building, when the conditions for real change are aligning in ways they have not in a long time. You can feel it, even if you cannot explain it. There is a quiet urgency building inside you, a sense that something is coming, that the waiting is almost over. It does not feel chaotic or overwhelming. It feels purposeful, like your entire being is preparing for something just beyond your current view. And that feeling, that subtle but persistent pull, is not your imagination. It is a response to the energy that is moving through your life right now, and it is about to become much more obvious. Because while all of this is unfolding, Mars and Jupiter are forming a rare and powerful alignment. When these two planets connect, they do not move gently. Mars is the planet of action, drive, and courage. It is the force that pushes you to act, to take risks, to move forward even when the path is unclear. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, opportunity, and growth. It takes whatever you start and magnifies it, opening pathways that were not visible before, amplifying outcomes beyond what you initially expected. And when these two energies align, they create a window where bold decisions are not just supported, they are accelerated. This is not a small thing. This is the kind of alignment that can change the trajectory of your life if you recognize it and act on it. And it is happening right now, at the exact moment when your mind is clearing, when a new cycle is beginning, when the universe itself is resetting. Do you understand what this means? You're not just experiencing a fresh start. You're standing inside a moment of amplified potential, where the same effort you make today could carry you further than it would at any other time. The door is not just open, it is wide open, and the current is moving in your favor. You may have already noticed small shifts. Thoughts that were stuck are starting to move. Decisions that felt impossible are beginning to clarify. You might find yourself thinking about something you set aside weeks or even months ago, but now it does not feel distant. It feels close. It feels possible. And that shift, even though it seems small, is a sign. It means the alignment is already affecting you. It means you are already inside the window. This is where things start to get interesting, because what you are feeling right now is not the peak. It is the beginning. The energy is still building, still organizing itself, still moving into position, and as it does, it begins to interact with everything that has just cleared. Mercury has removed the mental obstacles. The equinox has balanced your internal state. The sun has initiated a new cycle. And now Mars and Jupiter are beginning to push everything forward with force and expansion. You're not imagining this. The momentum is real, and it is accelerating. But here is what makes this moment different from every other time you have felt motivated or inspired. You're not stepping forward blindly. You have just come through a period of deep reflection, whether you intended it or not. While Mercury was retrograde, it forced you to slow down, to reconsider, to look at things you might have been avoiding. It brought up old patterns so you could see them clearly. It made you question your direction so you could refine it. And even though that phase felt frustrating, it served a critical purpose. It prepared you, it cleared the path. And now, as you emerge from it, you are not the same person who entered it. You are clearer. You're more aligned. You're more aware of what you actually want, not just what you think you should want. And the decisions you make from this place carry a different kind of weight. They are not reactive. They are intentional. They are rooted in something deeper. And when intention meets momentum, when clarity meets opportunity, that is when real transformation begins to happen. You might start to feel a growing sense of anticipation, a quiet intensity that does not go away. It is not anxiety, it is awareness. You're sensing that something is about to shift, that the energy around you is organizing itself in a way that will soon become visible, and even if nothing has changed externally yet, you know it is coming. You can feel it building, you know it is close. This is the moment when hesitation begins to lose its grip. Not because fear disappears, but because the pull forward becomes stronger than the urge to stay still. You start to notice that the resistance you once felt, whether it came from doubt or external circumstances, is beginning to soften. It is not gone, but it is no longer a wall. It is becoming something you can move through, and that shift, even though it feels subtle, changes everything. Because now the path is not just open, it is active, it is alive with possibility, and it is responding to you. The more you lean into this energy, the more it reflects back. Opportunities begin to appear in unexpected ways. Conversations lead somewhere meaningful. Ideas that felt vague start to take shape. Plans that seemed stalled begin to move forward again. You're not forcing any of this. You're simply aligning with the current that is already flowing, and the current is stronger than it has been in a very long time. But there is something else happening beneath all of this, something quieter, but just as important. The balance created by the equinox is still present, reminding you that movement does not require rushing. You can act and remain grounded at the same time. You can take a step without needing to see the entire staircase. This is not about leaping recklessly into the unknown. This is about trusting that you have already done the internal work needed to move forward in a more conscious and deliberate way. And as this trust builds, you begin to notice something shifting in how you perceive risk. What once felt too uncertain now feels worth exploring, not because the risks have vanished, but because your relationship with them has changed. You're no longer paralyzed by what could go wrong. You're beginning to see what could go right if you actually take the step, and that shift in perspective is everything. It transforms uncertainty from something that holds you back into something that invites you forward. This is where the Mars and Jupiter alignment becomes more than just a cosmic event. It becomes personal. It begins to interact with your specific path, your specific desires, your specific readiness. And when that happens, the energy stops feeling general and starts feeling direct, almost like it is speaking to you alone. You may notice that certain ideas keep returning, but this time they feel different. They feel more real, more urgent, less like distant possibilities and more like immediate opportunities. You might find yourself revisiting a decision you've been avoiding, but now it does not feel overwhelming. It feels necessary. It feels like the next logical step, and somewhere inside, you know that if you do not act now, you will regret waiting. This is the quiet urgency of this moment. It is not pressure, it is invitation. The universe is saying the door is open, the path is clear, and you are ready. And even if part of you still hesitates, another part knows this is true. You can feel it in your energy, in your thoughts, in the way resistance has softened. Something fundamental has shifted, and it is pointing you forward with unmistakable clarity. What makes this even more powerful is the way these forces are layering on top of each other. The sun in Aries does not wait for perfect conditions. It acts on instinct, on courage, on the willingness to step into the unknown without needing complete certainty. This energy is impulsive in the best possible way. It trusts that action itself will reveal the next step. And when this fiery, forward-moving energy combines with the mental clarity that Mercury direct brings, you get something rare. You get instinct backed by insight. You get courage supported by understanding. At the same time, Jupiter expands whatever Mars touches. So the actions you take now are not small. They ripple outward. They create momentum that builds on itself. A single decision can set off a chain reaction that unfolds over weeks and months. This is not about taking massive leaps all at once. This is about recognizing that even small steps carry more weight right now. That the same effort produces greater results because the energy is amplifying everything. You might also notice that synchronicities are increasing. Small coincidences that feel too specific to ignore. You think about someone and they reach out. You consider an idea and then see it reflected back to you in your environment. These moments are not random. They are confirmation that you are in alignment, that you are moving with the energy rather than against it. And the more you pay attention to these signals, the more they appear. There is also a growing sense of permission forming inside you. Not permission from others, but permission from yourself. You're beginning to release the need for everything to be perfectly planned before you begin. You're starting to trust that you are capable of handling what comes next. Even if you cannot see it all yet, and that trust is everything. It transforms waiting into action. It turns hesitation into movement. But here is where it gets even deeper. This alignment is not affecting everyone the same way. There are certain paths, certain people, certain situations that are more aligned with this energy than others. And if you have been feeling every word of this, if this resonates in a way that feels personal and immediate, then you are likely one of the people this moment is speaking to directly. The energy right now is not scattered. It is focused. It is activating specific patterns, specific opportunities, specific timelines. And those who are ready, those who have been doing the internal work, those who have been waiting for the right moment, are the ones who will feel this most intensely. This is your moment. Not in some vague, inspirational sense, but in a very real and immediate way. You're standing at a crossroads, and the path forward is clearer than it has been in a long time. The resistance has softened, the clarity has returned, the momentum is building, and all that is left is the decision to move. Not someday, not when conditions are perfect, but now, while the energy is aligned, while the door is open, while the current is strong. This is not about forcing something to happen. It is about recognizing what is already trying to emerge and allowing it to move through you. It is about trusting that the restlessness you feel is not anxiety, but readiness. It is about understanding that the pull you sense is not pulling you away from safety, but toward growth. And as this energy continues to build, you will begin to see the evidence in your external world. Things that were stuck will start to move. Opportunities that seemed closed will begin to open. Conversations that were difficult will become easier. The path that felt blocked will start to clear. And all of this will happen not because you forced it, but because you aligned with the moment and allowed it to carry you forward. This is the power of cosmic timing. This is what happens when inner readiness meets outer opportunity. This is the moment you have been waiting for, whether you knew it or not. And now, it is here. But there is still more to understand about why this moment feels so different. It is not just the individual transits working in isolation. It is the way they are interacting with each other, creating a layered effect that amplifies the overall energy. Think of it like instruments in an orchestra. Each one plays its own part, but when they come together in harmony, the result is something far greater than any single instrument could produce alone. The sun in Aries sets the stage. It brings the energy of initiation, of new beginnings, of bold action. It is the spark that ignites everything else. Without this foundational energy, the other transits would not have the same impact, but the sun does more than just start things. It also illuminates. It brings awareness. It makes visible what was hidden. And in Aries it does this with intensity and urgency. Mercury stationing direct clears the mental pathways. It removes the confusion that has been clouding your judgment. It allows you to think clearly, communicate effectively, and make decisions with confidence. This is crucial because without mental clarity, even the best opportunities can be missed or misunderstood. Mercury direct ensures that when the door opens, you can recognize it and know exactly what to do. The equinox provides the balance. It creates a moment of equilibrium where opposing forces are held in perfect tension before the energy tips in a new direction. This balance is what makes the transition smooth rather than chaotic. It gives you the stability you need to move forward without feeling like you are losing your grounding. It allows you to embrace change without abandoning the wisdom you have gained. And then Mars and Jupiter bring the action and expansion. Mars provides the drive, the courage, the willingness to take risks. Jupiter magnifies everything Mars touches, turning small steps into significant strides. Together, they create a momentum that is almost impossible to resist. They make the impossible feel possible. They turn dreams into plans and plans into reality. When all of these energies come together at once, they create what can only be described as a perfect storm of opportunity. But unlike a literal storm, this one is not destructive. It is generative. It builds rather than tears down. It creates pathways rather than obstacles. And it does this in a way that feels natural, almost effortless, as if the universe itself is conspiring to help you succeed. You may have heard people talk about being in the right place at the right time. This is that moment. But it is not about luck. It is about alignment. It is about having done the work internally so that when the external conditions shift, you are ready to take advantage of them. And if you have been feeling the intensity of this moment, if you have been sensing that something big is about to happen, then you are already in alignment. You are already positioned to receive what this energy has to offer. The question now is not whether the opportunity exists. The question is whether you will recognize it and act on it. Because this window will not stay open forever. Energy moves in cycles, and each cycle has its own timing. Right now, the timing is in your favor. But that will shift. Not immediately, but gradually. And the longer you wait, the more effort it will take to achieve the same results. This is not meant to create fear or pressure. It is simply a reminder that timing matters. There are moments when the current is with you, and there are moments when you have to swim against it. Right now, the current is with you, and the wisest thing you can do is recognize that and move with it. You might also notice that the energy feels different in different areas of your life. It may be strongest in your career, or in your relationships, or in your personal growth. This is because the transits affect different areas depending on where they fall in your natal chart. But even without knowing the specifics of your chart, you can sense where the energy is most active by paying attention to where you feel the most pull, the most restlessness, the most anticipation. That is where the opportunity is. That is where the door is opening. And that is where you need to focus your attention and your action. Do not scatter your energy trying to do everything at once. Focus on what feels most alive, most urgent, as most aligned with where you want to go. That is where the momentum will build fastest. There is also something important to understand about how this energy unfolds over time. It does not peak all at once and then disappear. It builds gradually, reaches a crescendo, and then slowly fades. Right now, you are in the building phase. The energy is gathering strength. You can feel it intensifying day by day, and this building phase is actually the most important time to act, because this is when you set things in motion that will continue to unfold even after the peak has passed. Think of it like planting a seed. You do not plant it after the growing season has ended. You plant it at the beginning, when the conditions are right for growth, and then you tend it, nurture it, and watch it develop over time. The actions you take now are like planting seeds. They may not produce immediate results, but they will grow and expand in ways you cannot fully predict right now. This is why it is so important not to judge your progress too quickly. The energy right now is about initiation, not completion. It is about starting, not finishing. And if you can embrace that, if you can take the first step without needing to see the entire path, then you will position yourself to receive everything this alignment has to offer. You may also feel moments of doubt or fear creeping in. This is normal. When you stand at the edge of something new, some part of you will always resist. It is a survival mechanism designed to keep you safe, but safety and growth do not always align. Sometimes you have to step beyond what feels safe in order to reach what feels fulfilling, and this is one of those times. The fear you feel is not a sign that you're on the wrong path. It is often a sign that you are on the right path, but it is unfamiliar, and your mind does not like unfamiliar. It prefers the known, even when the known is not serving you. So when fear arises, do not let it stop you. Acknowledge it, thank it for trying to protect you, and then move forward anyway. Because on the other side of that fear is everything you have been waiting for. The clarity, the momentum, the opportunity, the growth. It is all there, waiting for you to claim it. And the only thing standing between you and it is the decision to move. This is your moment. This is your time. And deep down, you already know this. You can feel it in every fibre of your being. The question is, will you trust it? Will you act on it? Will you allow yourself to step into the fullness of what this energy is offering you? The universe has aligned in your favour. The door is open, the path is clear, and you are ready. Now all that remains is the choice to begin.